So what are we doing, Mark?
You brought the fucking camera?
Yeah, I brought the camera.
Why the fuck are you bringing the camera?
Don't pay attention to the camera. Just answer the question.
Alright, so I answered a personal ad and I had a riddle on it. Cute chick here. And I answered the riddle, and when I got back I got these just GPS coordinates.
Where the hell are we going anyway?
Somewhere that way. Dude, I want to know how this girl got out here by herself. More clues. Looks like we got a little bridge here. Look at my fucking eyes. Do you see that I'm fucking aware that it's happening? Turn it the fuck off.
No.
I'm not kidding.
No.
Turn it the fuck off or I'm gonna kick your goddamn ass! Turn it off!
Okay, fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Hollywood After Dark. What you just saw was an old movie I made the trailer for In Search of back in 2011. But we're going to be talking about Batman and the inability to eat pussy right now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Let me get this up. There we go. Let me get that off the screen. All right. I was trying to be funny and entertaining, and I can't operate the computer at the same time because I'm clearly, at this point, an absolute boomer. Anyway, how are you guys doing? Hope y'all are doing well. It's been a fun and interesting day. I just want to start off by quickly pointing out that I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you guys. So thank you so much to the channel members who support the channel monthly. You can get your name on this list, get your name in on the action. All you got to do is just click the link below in the video description, although it's not there right now, but it will be after the whole thing runs. And then you can also check out our great sponsor, the Gina Carano Hot Shot First shirt, which doesn't exist, but one day it will. And other than that, I'm doing okay. Like I said, today's been a good day because I'm in nerd heaven when it comes to physical media today. I'm in nerd heaven when it comes to all that because today, not only did I get my 4K copy of Zack Snyder's Justice League, thanks to HBarts, who's in the chat. Thank you, sir. I also received my Indiana Jones 4 movie collection, also in 4K. And I am in absolute nerd heaven. This is why I love physical media. This is why you can never get rid of physical media. It's got to be loved. And that's my little pimp for the day. Just to kind of start off the bat here. HBarts says, in search of Matt's 4K. Oh, man. I think it's going to be, I think it's pretty, I would love to find a way to put in search of in 4K. I don't even know where the original files are at this point. The movie exists. You guys can see it at iso-themovie.com. It is free to watch. I should do a watch-along party one night and then just answer Q&As because we shot the movie in 2 days. And it got a bit of a renewed interest today from someone I know. Actually went and checked it out. So anyway, thank you very much. Astro Josh here says, yay, your movie trailer. Loved every minute. Thank you very much. Fourth here says, LOL, Jarbo's found footage film. Damn straight. Damn straight. I don't bring it up as often as I should. I should bring it up a lot more often because I think people want to see it. Geeks here is asking the question, how come you and Enosh stream at the same time? I don't know, because I don't know. He knows I go live. He does it first. He invites me on. Usually I jump on for a few minutes, but today I was busy, so I wasn't able to. But anyway, so let's take a quick look here at the Shiny 311 here. It was $5. Thank you, Shiny. It says, I have an interview tomorrow, but screw sleep. I'd rather watch your stream. Well, sleep is important. And so is screwing. So if you can find a way to like do one and then the other, preferably screw than sleep, just because it's going to be a much more restful experience, go for it. But anyway, for your interview, I wish you the very best. And I hope you get whatever it is you're after. And I hope you are able to succeed. And remember, It's all about just having a little bit of charisma, looking them dead in the eye and answering their questions. And that's really about it. Interviews are easy. I usually nail them pretty well. And Simon here, $5 says 90 Day Fiance. This is not, maybe better. This is better than 90 Day Fiance because I'm not Big Mike. Although I have a pretty fat neck. Astro here asking, is that the Justice League UK edition? It absolutely is. H. Bart's great guy here. Absolutely imported it from the UK for me. So I'm very happy. Going to check that out tomorrow. So let's, Fourth year says you should be doing more directing stuff. Oh man, if I had the time, I don't have the time. I have thought about doing like a movie, like it would be me. It would predominantly be me, and I would be like trying to solve a mystery through like vlogging, right? But I would have a friend, like preferably from the UK or Australia, who would be helping me from like overseas. Because there's a story that I remember reading about like as it was happening on Reddit. And it was about a guy who lost a cell phone and he used a tracking software in order to be able to like get it back. And it was this whole thing. And I'm going to do a Stranger Days video on it. I tried doing a couple tester videos with this story. I still have all the info, all the details and stuff. I just need to like redo it again with just whatever. But it was such an interesting story because I'm like, what if you took that concept of like these apps on your phone that allow you to do all these things and your phone gets stolen, but it ends up being, you know, used and you're trying to track it down, but you end up coming across something like this a lot more sinister and like trying to like get all the evidence and wrangle it all together without drawing suspicion to yourself. I mean, really for me, the only kind of movies I want to make are point of view found footage. That's where I'm at. That's what I want to do. So I have to wait and see how that goes, but I think it's going to be a lot more fun. I do want to direct more. I want to write more. I absolutely do. Thank you very much for that. H-Bart's here with the $2 super chat saying start the Jarboverse. Oh my God. You know what? That'd be funny. Bat down here asking if the only way to restore the Snyderverse was to shave your head, for you to shave your head. Does that mean like not shave it or actually? Oh, you mean knock like razor blade, right? Would I do it? Would I go skin? I've done it before. A long time ago, I would do it. Yeah. So the Astro should be compatible with my Xbox One X. I think it is. I've read that it is. If it isn't, then I've got myself a nice, shiny 4K copy of Justice League that I can't watch. But I've got the physical edition, so that still counts for something. But anyway, why don't we talk about Batman eating pussy? Because, that is exactly what tonight is about. We're talking about Batman eating pussy, and Catwoman here. She's like, I'm in for it. I'm down for it. I want it. I need it. But it's been a little bit funny today, with there being all of this conversation, all of this hoopla surrounding Batman and going down. Not even getting any, but just going down. So it all started here with a discussion in the Hollywood Reporter when they were talking about Harley Quinn. And it says here, this is coming in from the writers, it's incredibly gratifying and free to be using characters that are considered villains because you have so much more leeway. A perfect example of this is in the third season of Harley, when we had a moment where Batman was going down on Catwoman and DC was like, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. They're like, heroes don't do that. So we said, are you saying heroes are just selfish lovers? And they were like, no, it's that we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a Batman toy, if Batman is also going down on someone. Now, they do go on to say here that in fairness to DC, the showrunners did go on to say that the company has been remarkably supportive of their series and has allowed them to push the envelope numerous times. But still, Batman eating the punani. Batman going down on Catwoman. Is this really that big of a deal? Is this really that big of a thing? I mean, if Catwoman was going down on Batman, if Catwoman was giving him a blowjob, do you really think that they would care as much? No, they wouldn't care, by the way. They absolutely wouldn't care. And the reason why they wouldn't care has everything to do with the fact that they have never, ever, ever, ever necessarily given a crap about male sexuality and men finishing, right? Men having an orgasm. It's why I joked about this on Twitter where I said, the female orgasm isn't a myth. Warner Brothers, stop trying to act like it is a myth, because no, it exists. Women, they like sex. Men, they like sex. We all like sex. Who doesn't like sex? I mean, for the love of God, who doesn't like getting their rocks off? I mean, sure, there's some people out there that do, but it's not like Batman and Catwoman haven't had a kid. I mean, even when they rebooted the New 52, for crying out loud, they still, they still wanted to make sure that people knew that Batman and Catwoman were going to get down with it. If I recall, this is one of the final images from the first rebooted New 52 comic of Batman and Catwoman on a rooftop. And she is, I mean, for one, the logistics of how far down that zipper goes on her suit and everything. And there's certain logistics here in regards to their bodies, but we can clearly see that they are getting it on, that they are having themselves consensual coitus, which is something that everyone out there generally participates in. And it's really not that big of a deal. That's the whole point. Batman eats the poontang. He eats the punani, but they have a problem with that. I don't get it. Why deny the female experience? Why deny it? Because that's the whole point. There's a documentary called This Film Is Not Yet Rated, and it's from a guy named Kirby Dick, whose, credentials after that, and maybe even before that, were kind of up in the air. But in this documentary, they were talking about the MPAA and how the MPAA rated films that featured female ejaculation, right? Female ejaculation. And so, they talked about that, and they said, like, no, that they're not going to, they're not going to rate it. They're going to give it an NC-17 rating, right? That's what they're going to do. They're not going to sit there and give it what it needs to have, which is nothing. Just give it an R rating if that's a problem. But also, people out there were men coming in movies and shows and stuff that's been around, that gets an R rated. That's not a problem. So why is it that a male ejaculating, which is as natural as a female ejaculating, is something that is so horribly looked down upon in regards to this, right? And here's the thing too, even DC animation has kind of touched upon this in the past a little bit. This was a clip that was floating around Twitter today.
But if I do that, if I allow myself to go down into that place, I'll never come back.
You gotta love it, man. Even Batman is like, if I allow myself to go down there, if I allow myself to go down there, I'm never gonna come back up. Because here's the thing: when you love it, when you're good at it, and when your partner loves it, you just want to make sure your partner is happy, and that, of course, is a big dang thing. It's a big thing. And here's the great thing about it too, is, like even our good friend, Zack Snyder has touched upon this before, right? Even our good friend, Zack Snyder, wanted to talk about the tenets of a female ejaculation. In fact, so much so that even in the film Army of the Dead, it was brought up as a bit of a kind of blink and you'll miss it little gag. But at the beginning, in the opening credits of the film, you have Ana de la Guerra, I'm always mispronouncing her name, rocking this shirt. The future is female ejaculation, because it exists. It's not mythological heroes like you would find at DC. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, they don't exist. Women having an orgasm, it exists. To quote Waterworld, it exists. I've seen it. Anyway, look, Batman eating the poontang, right? Batman eating the pussy. Shiny here says Batman eating pussy. Now I have to stay up. That's right. Anyway, now Brian here makes a great point. By the way, thank you for that, Shiny. He says, let me get this straight. Batman can have a sexual relationship with Barbara Gordon in The Killing Joke, but he can't go to town on Selena Kyle. What sense did that make? Well, the sense is that we don't actually watch either of them finish. She does initiate the act, which took a lot of people by surprise. And a lot of people were not happy with the fact that Barbara Gordon had sex with Batman. It didn't bother me one bit. I'm not a prude. They're adults. Let them fuck. However, in this particular situation, it's always kind of funny because, yeah, you're right. They have sex. Batman has sex with Catwoman in the comics, but no, on an animated show where it's two female leads just did the comic accurate thing of getting together and playing a nice old game of scissor me timbers. But Batman going down on Catwoman, that's a step too far. But here's where we get into something really funny. You know, you got to love pop culture, right? You got to love pop culture from the 90s, because pop culture from the 90s, they knew that Batman was a muff diver. They knew that he liked to go down on women. They knew that Catwoman would be very impressed with Batman, because here's the thing. You got this old Miller Brewing Company brand called Red Dog beer. This is a 90s brand. Okay. A lot of you out there probably are like, what the fuck is Red Dog? It's an old beer. This was a big deal back in the 90s, right? Red Dog, all that stuff. Remember all the commercials for it and shit. But there's a hidden subliminal message on this image you may not be able to see. There is a hidden subliminal message, and that is this. If you look at Red Dog logo right side up, it looks like a pit bull or a bulldog, right? But if you flip it over right there, what's that? What's that when you flip it over? Is that Batman? Is that Batman's cowl? And is Batman eating the pussy? That's right. Batman is eating the pussy, eating the poontang in this beer logo. Batman eating some pussy. There you have it, folks. There you have it. This is the whole point. This is the entire thing, is that everyone's talking about this. Everyone's laughing about this because it's ridiculous at how prudish, at how absolutely prudish DC is. Chili here says this talk about sex triggers me. I don't know what exactly it is. I don't know what about sex that triggers you. Perhaps have it. I don't know. It's pretty good. And so anyway, hey, what's going on? Morning, afternoon headshot. Long time no talk. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you. Fourth here says, the $5 super chat, Batman can take on the most powerful of villains, but I don't want my man getting taken out by HPV. Yeah, well, you know what? It's their disease. He's just the carrier. So let's be fair on that one. All right. Now, Geeks here says Batman and Talia did have sex, but she drugged Bruce and then he got Talia pregnant. So that was assault. That's okay in the comics. Batman can be sexually assaulted, i.e. raped by Talia al Ghul in order to produce a child. And that's okay in the comics. But whoa, Batman exploring a cave down under. No, not good at all. Not good at all. It's terrible stuff. Terrible stuff here. But Simon Section with the $10 super chat says, I'm an 80s kid, so I don't mind a bit of Kate Bush, and neither did Tupac. His taste in music is, I don't know about Madonna. I hope she at least had a landing strip. I don't know. There's a book out there called Sex by Madonna. It's a photo album. It's like a photo essay sort of thing she put out. It's her. I'm pretty sure she's nude in the whole thing. I don't know. It was a controversial thing at the time. This is how the late 80s, early 90s were. Anything involving sex was, oh my God, terrible. But yeah, I mean, look, the thing is pubic hair exists. In our culture, we tend to look at it like it's a negative thing, right? In our culture, the beauty standards of our culture is like women should be shaved. That's what a lot of people believe. So it's like back in the 70s, there was like, you always hear about the 70s bush. You always hear about all this stuff. And then it kind of went away with like home waxing and all that kind of like, it's seen as more hygienic, I guess. But I'm going to tell you right now, like no guy really cares about that. No guy really cares. It's not an issue, right? It's not a thing, but due to some beauty standards, people still think like that, but it's funny. It's funny. Let's see here. Geeks here says, God love Batman under the red hood. There you go. There you go. There you go. Anyway. Let's see here. It even happened in that horrible Harley Quinn Batman movie. I don't know. I know that in the Arkham Asylum movie, her and Deadshot have sex, and she says Yahtzee when she comes. So I mean, like, that happened. I was shocked actually when I watched that back in 2014. God, that was like 7 years ago. That's a long time. But like, she like jumps on the bed with Deadshot, and then it cuts to an exterior shot of the building they're in, and she just goes Yahtzee, and you're like, Harley Quinn just nutted all over his pistol. Pow pow, pew pew pew. Right, like all that shit. So they absolutely. I mean, look, sex exists. So what is it about the oral aspect of it that has? I mean, like, you know, are they going to like cut, if they did it, are they going to cut to a joke about 9 out of 10 dentists don't suggest oral? I mean, what is it? What didn't Michael Douglas get like mouth cancer from cunnilingus a couple of years ago? Wasn't that a thing? I mean, I don't know if, I don't remember if that's an urban legend or if that really happened. I'm going to Google it real quick. But I mean, I'm just kind of wondering here, like, hold on, Michael Douglas, oral cancer. When actor Michael Douglas told a reporter that his throat cancer was caused by HPV contracted through oral sex. No, man, Michael, look, more, hold on. What kind of, I don't know if he actually, I don't know if he had, if he got HPV through eating a lot of pussy. Let's see. Yeah, no, it says here, the first theme to pop out of it was incredulity. Like, what? Wait, what's going on? Anyway, I guess, okay, according to the Washington Post, today there is no doubt in the medical community that the increase of HPV-related cancers, such as the one Douglas described, which he later explained was found at the base of his tongue, is caused by sexual practices, in his case, cunnilingus. There is an urgency to better treat and prevent what is becoming the one type of oral cancer whose numbers are climbing, especially among men in the prime of their lives who have decades to live with the consequences of their cancer treatment. So more or less what it's talking about here is you can get cancer from eating, from going down under. Maybe that's what DC is trying to do now. Maybe DC at this point is trying to argue against a type of HPV throat cancer, base of the tongue cancer, that can affect men in their prime who are just trying to please their intimate partner. Maybe they're trying to subtly say that Catwoman has HPV and they don't want the world's greatest detective catching it. But I'm just going to say this. If he's the world's greatest detective, he already knows. Bow. Oh my God. John here says nuts and an electric shaver don't mix. That is true. That is very true. That's Nick City, man. My God. Thanura Ravindra here. Thank you. Says, if this is controversial, imagine the controversy a certain sex scene from Invincible from the comics the show will eventually do. Oh yeah, I know. People, the thing is in America, in our culture, we are exceptionally prudish in our culture, right? That's just the case. We're very prudish. No one likes to talk about sex here. They look at it as being this negative thing. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's terrible. You only do it in the privacy of your own home. Never, if you talk about it, you're just exploiting shit. Nah. All this kind of stuff, right? But in the reality of it is, outside of this world, outside of this country, it's very natural. It's very natural outside of this country. It's not that big of a deal outside of this country. But here they make it this huge deal. And it's really funny to me to see. Rodney here saying, happy Man of Steel Day. That's right. It's been 8 years. Anyway, it has been. I love that movie. Christopher Barker says, isn't Harley Quinn show aimed at an older audience? I don't get why they wouldn't do this. Well, yeah, it is aimed at an older audience, 100%. And so there's definitely that to consider, but it's like, I don't know why, but if they're tying it into the whole toy thing, which is what their argument is here, right? If you look at this here, it's all like, no, it's that we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a toy if Batman is also going down on someone. How many women out there, and I know not a lot of women listen to me, and I know that most of my demographic is like really like 95% men, but there are women that listen occasionally. And I know we have one in the chat right now, but don't you like it? Don't you like it when a guy goes down on you? Don't you like it though? Like when you're your intimate partner and you can be intimate, not some random scuzzy guy at the bar or nothing, but like you're with somebody and you want to explore and you want to be sensual and you want to have those experiences. I mean, don't you want that? I don't know. I'm not going to speak for anybody specifically, right? But I mean, that's kind of the way I view it, is like a hero eats pussy. Let's just be real here. A hero eats pussy. This video is not monetizable in any way, shape, or form, by the way. So the super chats you guys are sending, you very much help. But it's true. Superheroes eat pussy. All right. Superheroes very much want to make sure that their partner is getting all of the pleasure that they can. That is the reality of it. Real quick here, HBart says, I'll send a player for the 4K. Thank you. Those are expensive, dude. Like, we'll figure it out first. All right. We'll figure it out first. Anyway, let me catch up here with the chat. All right. HBart's here, another $5. Says, Zack Snyder did Michael Douglas try sausages? So the reason why he mentioned Zack Snyder is because it doesn't go a day without talking about Zack Snyder, and we will talk about Zack Snyder here in a few, because there's something that came up that I want to touch upon. But yeah, no, I don't think Michael Douglas tried sausages. I think he's very much a tuna-based individual. So, oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see here. Does Catherine Zeta-Jones have it? Does she have HPV? I would assume the answer to that is probably, right? It's probably. I mean, if it caused him to get mouth cancer, oral cancer, and he contracted it from somebody else, I'm pretty sure like he probably passed it to her. You know, I'm pretty sure that's the thing. Like, I knew of a couple that like the girl had been assaulted and she contracted herpes, and that was a big deal for her because she felt ashamed by that. But when she met her husband, he wanted to be with her. He wanted to have kids with her. He wanted a life with her. So he exposed himself to that. And they have 3 kids now, and the 3 kids are absolutely fine because there are ways to get around it. But I mean, that's the thing, is like, that's why having those conversations with your partner about this kind of stuff is key, and having open communication is key, because I think that's going to really make relationships a lot stronger. So there you go on that one. So hold on here. What were you right about? What were you right about? I don't know what you're right about. So you gotta fill me in on that one. All right. So let's see here. Have I seen the Netflix movie, The Dirt? The scene where Tommy Lee Jones drives downtown to pick up some sushi and along comes Old Faithful. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, Simon. I haven't seen The Dirt, but I need to know more. So let's see. Sure. Morning, afternoon, headshot here. She says, oh yeah, definitely. I don't want to be with someone who doesn't love it. I think she's referring to going down. But I don't need my kid watching it on TV. But yeah, but would your kid be watching the Harley Quinn show? That is TVMA aimed at at an older audience. That is where the situation comes from, right? So like in the comics, you know, those are aimed for an older audience. But this is also aimed for an older audience. So I don't know. That's true. Yvonne here says, Matt, in Kingsman, Eggsy did do it from behind. It was also offered to him too. But here's where that trope was really hysterical. The reason why it's really hysterical, Yvonne, is that in Kingsman 2, he married her, which is kind of anti-Bond, because Bond would have slept with her and then gone on to somebody else. But in the second Kingsman movie, he married the princess. So that's kind of great. Let's see here. Hold on. You got to leave Enosh's stream after they ate your spaghetti taco. I don't know what the hell that is, dude. I don't know why. Okay. Todd Fayer with $5 asking, do I think that Zack Snyder will sign with Netflix exclusively, since Warner Brothers wants nothing to do with him and Netflix treats him good? Yes, 100%. He may not sign, but they'll like have like a first look deal, or he'll go to them first and they might sign him. They should sign him. But yeah, there's definitely that. So let's see. Douglas contracted mouth cancer from reading the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh my God, dude, come on. I don't think you're entirely wrong. That movie was not very good. Let's see here. Okay. Christopher Barker says Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn getting dirty is a go, but the Baps pleasing Catwoman downstairs is a nope. Yeah, I know. Right. I know. But if she was giving him a blowjob, you know, for a fact, it'd be okay. Right. You know, for a fact, it'd be okay. But any Catwoman can't get off. That's messed up, man. That's totally messed up. Let's see here. Skywalker Brian says this whole situation sounds messed up, like a bad hentai episode uploaded to Pornhub. and total photoshopped out, to be honest. Well, it is pretty bad. Ryan here is saying, let adults do adult things. Exactly. No, we sell toys. We sell toys. We can't do, we can't do this. We sell toys. They can't eat pussy. People don't want to see us have a Funko Pop of Batman going to town on Catwoman. Are you kidding me, dude? You know how many people would buy that? If you could create a Funko Pop of like Batman eating Catwoman's ass, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, the people would get that in a heartbeat. They'd be like, damn, finally, DC does it right. They fucking show what it's like for a real couple that loves each other to get experimental with some shit. People would buy that in a heartbeat. No, we can't. What are you gonna make a $400 hot toy of of him giving her the shocker, right? Like two in the pink and one in the stick. It's just, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's see here. Hold on. Okay. Morning Afternoon Hester says, it's not a big deal. I'm not a prude, but we live in an era where Bill Nye has sex junk performances and uses cartoon ice creams to try to shame straights into orgies. I haven't seen that particular. I know the sex junk song. I think that was, yeah, I saw that. That was pretty bad. But then again, we also live in a society where people like to shame, foreskin, people like to shame foreskin. If you live in the West and you have foreskin, it's considered a problem. But if you go to other countries, foreskin is not an issue at all. Foreskin's the norm. Thankfully, in this country, finally, more men are not getting circumcised when they're boys. That we're seeing an end of that trend. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that religion is starting to not, I don't want to say dwindle, but we are hearing reports that attendance at churches are dropping. So I'm wondering if it's a correlation situation, but yeah, I get it. It's like, we need to have an actual honest discussion about sex, and using pop culture could be a way to do it, but it also boils down to how it's handled in schools too. And I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that because I don't think they always handle it well. Some here asks the questions. Do I think it's better? Who do I think is a better director, Nolan or Snyder? Probably Snyder. I think Nolan is is a better technical director, but I just happen to like Snyder's stories better. I think Snyder can tell it better. I think Nolan has got his head up his ass, and Snyder just likes to do things that look cool. And I'd rather support someone who likes to do things that look cool versus someone who's got their head up their ass, because the person who has their head up their ass can never be wrong. But the person who likes to do things that's cool will they'll take advice and go, oh yeah, that's cool. And they'll work on shit. Anyway, Simon here says superheroes may eat pie, but Elvis doesn't. No moonlighting here. Well, you know what? He died alone on a toilet. So maybe if he would have eaten a pie every once in a while, you know what? He wouldn't have been alone. I'm kidding. I don't know here. Why did the heart? Yeah, okay. Honestly, I think this question here by Lord Slug really kind of summarizes it to the best I can make it. Why is it that the Harley Quinn team decided that it would be a good idea to put out that information, right? Like, why would they be talking about it in an interview about their show? Like, well, in season 3, we really wanted to have a scene where Batman was totally just like going to town on Catwoman. He was treating it like it was a 9-course meal. But DC said no. And the thing is, everyone's laughing at DC. Everyone is making fun of it. Gail Simone is coming out and making fun of DC. Gray, Giselle Delise, whatever. She's a voice actress. I think she's voiced Catwoman. She's even come out. She's all like, no, Catwoman, she's like, nah, Catwoman begs to differ on that one. So it's like Gray Giselle. I think that's her name, right? Someone fill me in. But they're coming out and everyone's like, no, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Like, eat that pussy. I think because that's the thing too, is like a lot of guys are like not good at it. Let's be fair, because a lot of guys get that information from watching adult films. They get it from watching porno. And it's like, that's not the way you do it. You don't dive in there and treat it like it's a freaking, cement sidewalk you're going to be breaking with a jackhammer. You know what I mean? It's not a game of Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I'm just saying that when you it's not something you take for granted, right? It's you gotta surgical precision might be the best way to describe it. All right. So it's like I lost my train of thought that made me just laugh my ass off. I'm just having too much fun with this, to be honest with you. But you're right. Why did they release? I wonder if they released that information to shame, whatever it's called, to shame Warner Brothers as a way to get them to come on in. Okay. Okay. Gray Delisle. Okay. That's it. Thank you. Christopher Barker here says, as a DC fan, I feel almost ashamed to be a fan. Warner Brothers be making really stupid choices. I'm wondering if, again, I'm really wondering if the backlash to this is going to get them to go, all right, add that in there, add that in down the road, make a subtle reference to Batman and Catwoman in there, in their relationship. That would be kind of funny. So, and then some 8 with trying to derail the conversation. Do I prefer John Williams or Hans Zimmer? I do love me some Hans Zimmer, dude, but nah, I got the Indiana Jones box set today. Part of my love of that franchise is John Williams' score. So there's that. But all right, I guess we should probably, it's been 30 some minutes of talking about this. Maybe we should move on to a quick topic that I want to talk about here. Let's see here. Simon here at the $4 super sticker. Thank you. Says the Dirt Netflix Motley Crue biopic. Oh, is it a Motley Crue biopic? Is that it? Okay. I will definitely check that out. So here's what we're going to do. Have I watched Stargirl? No. I don't really plan on it either, to be honest with you. Sorry. I normally was going to hold off till the end of the week on this one. But you know, there's not much going on today. This is kind of eating up most of the hour. So what we'll do here is I'll pop the link. We'll take a few callers wants to come on in. Have a topic you want to cover, or if you want to comment on this, keep it on point and we'll keep it quick, but thank you. Let's see here. Morning Afternoon Headshot says, I'm making a movie and there's going to be a big tea bagging scene. That's good. Is it going to be consensual though? I don't think tea bagging is consensual though. And what kind of tea bagging? Because there's multiple kinds from my understanding of it. Sometimes it's not just bouncing the nuts on someone's head. It's also dipping it in their mouth, right? Like while they sleep, but they sleep with their mouth open. That's the thing. So you got to watch out for that one. Ryan here says Nolan does not have his head up his ass. He's fighting for cinema. No. I didn't say he's not a good director. All right. And he's fighting for cinema. That's fine. But let's be fair. All right. Let's be fair. When it comes to the audio and it comes to the dialogue in some of his movies, he frankly doesn't give a shit if you can understand him or not. I mean, he doesn't care. It wasn't just The Dark Knight Rises that had that problem. You know, it's also Tenet. A lot of people coming out of Tenet were like, this movie, you can't understand it. You got to watch it with subtitles on. You know, he pushed Warner Brothers to put the movie back in theaters. So it's that whole thing. So you gotta, he has his head up his ass. So is that okay? So Lord Slug here says it's actually a pretty good show and it's dark at times. People and teens die and the action's good. Well, if it's killing teenagers, clearly I've got to watch it. Now you sold me on Stargirl. Jeff Johns likes to hunt down and kill teenagers is what you're telling me. All right. Geeks here says, I'm working on a comic. It's going to have a huge, crazy superhero sex scene. That's good. That's good. Anyway, H-Bart's here, $5 says, speaking of foreskin, my parents are in the medical field and the religion is the reason. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, here's the thing. They're not that I'm trying to go off on this whole, let's discuss, the tenets of having foreskin. If I had a son, I have $2. If I had a son, I wouldn't get them circumcised because I think that's child mutilation. I do. It has nothing to do with religious aspects of it. You're literally removing 2,000 nerve endings or 20,000 nerve endings. And it's inhibiting the amount of pleasure an adult male can have. And it's also hurting the kid. So it's like, what's the point of that? It's there for a reason. It's like, do you remove your sphincter because it's just, I don't know, it's unnecessary at times. I don't know. Oh, it's not the reason. Okay. Sorry. Well, I still think it's religion. So Anyway, Christopher Barker says, did you hear that Grant Gustin, who plays the Flash on the show, may appear in the Flash movie? I heard something about that. It was what Andy Muschietti did this on Instagram, right? He put up something on Instagram, I think, today. Let me take a look here. Something with like, it was like what, the Flash. It was the logo, right? He put up the logo here. And I think this logo looks like the TV show logo, doesn't it? Like, oh, hold on, I'm trying to save the file. I'll bring it up. But this looks like the TV show one. I think, at least. Hold on. Okay, so if maybe, yeah. All right, so this would be the Flash. This is what you put on Instagram. I mean, that looks like the CW show, which would indicate that Grant Gustin is coming. And I mean, that's good actually, because I think they've done other. I mean, well, they also did. Hold on, they've got like. They've got this. Okay, I'm just trying to like get a screenshot of it. So, because he posted 8 weeks ago, this image on Instagram as well, and so again, it's like it's almost the same image, but it's just without this, right? It's like the same image, but without some of the extra. You know, I mean, is it two different Flash suits? Because they look pretty similar to me. You know, they look kind of similar. You see, it's got like the little electrodes coming on in, right? You got the little flashes, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top part over here. And then over here, you got the, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, well, I mean, it's slightly different, right? Slightly different. I guess it looks, I mean, very, very, very similar in some aspects. So there's that one. So I don't know. It's it's an up close shot of the new Flash costume. But I mean, people want Grant Gustin because I don't think people want Ezra Miller. I think because of the, a lot of people out there who didn't see Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't see that version of Barry Allen, and that's not the Barry Allen we're going to get in this movie either. We're going to get the one coming off of the other. So we'll have to wait and see. All right. H Bart's here with $5 says Nolan wanted his movies in theaters during the pandemic. No, that's true. He did. And he pushed for it at the wrong time. He pushed for it thinking that was going to be like his movies were going to be enough to bring people back into the theaters. That's what he thought. And that's the biggest problem is that's not what happened. In fact, it was the exact opposite of that. It made money overseas where it could, but it ultimately didn't end up doing as well as they wanted it to. Thanks for coming on in, Morning Afternoon Headshot. Yeah, good to catch up with you too. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well and stop by again anytime. See you later. All right. So Patrick here with an interesting point. Maybe someone at the top is trying to destroy Hollywood. So there will be more independent film companies and no more Hollywood. Well, the thing is though, is the superhero genre is massive. Adaptations. What is it? They announced, their HBO Max announced today that they are rebooting not Different Strokes. Which one was it? They're rebooting the one, Cousin Balky, I think is Different Strokes, right? Hold on. Perfect Strangers. They're rebooting Perfect Strangers, with two, black women are going to be the reboot there. So they're taking a 1980s. It's like, okay, cool, fine, whatever. Like, I don't care about that at all. I'm not going to watch it. I think it's kind of ridiculous to do so. It's like, why not just call it something different? It's like having Velma be an animated show without Scooby-Doo and without the Mystery Machine and still trying to think that it's some kind of show. It's not a show. It's not Scooby-Doo. Stop trying to claim it. It is what it is. It's like, it's one of those things, like, it's one of those things where you're going like, look, this is a really bad idea and stop it. Like, you know what? It's so frustrating because it makes me not want to support like anything. I'm really kind of at this point looking to get rid of my HBO Max anyway. They have a lot of good stuff there. And it's not this that's going to put me over the edge, obviously. It's just like, what are you guys doing? You know? So stupid. But anyway, here let me drop the link one more time. I cut people in the back. I know they're waiting. I'm gonna get you guys here in a second. The one last thing I wanted to talk about today is this is again something that I see this going around because Restore the Snyderverse was trending today on Twitter, and Zach posted this on Vero, a quote from Joseph Campbell, where he says, "We're in a free fall in the future. We don't know where we're going. Things are changing so fast. And always when you're going through a long tunnel, anxiety comes along, and all you have to do to transform your hell into paradise is to turn your fall into a voluntary act. It's a very interesting shift of perspective, and that's all it is. Joyful participation in the sorrows, and everything changes." Joseph Campbell. So people I've seen people disseminating this a little bit and trying to make the claim that it's saying here, things are changing so fast and that you're in a long tunnel and that, don't give up is basically what he's trying to say. But at the same time here, the back half of the quote says, all you have to do is transform your hell into paradise is to turn your fall into a voluntary act. It's a very interesting shift of perspective, which effectively is trying to say that when you feel like you are kind of over your head, and you feel like your anxiety is setting in, just change your perspective and it will make you feel better. What he's saying effectively is still modify your expectations, but anything is still possible. This isn't a call to like restore the Snyderverse. Again, this is Zach trolling people. This is what he's been up to. This is what he's been doing. He'll never say no to a paying customer. Those are his own words. He repeatedly says that Warner Brothers hasn't talked to him. Warner Brothers never sent him the Snyder Cut numbers. He doesn't know how well the movie is done. He doesn't know any of those things, and it's frustrating. He said even, again, this whole thing from a couple weeks ago.
Suck it, Warner Brothers. Suck it.
Wow. His words, not mine. But yeah, suck it, Warner Brothers.
See? I mean, he's on CBS saying that to a very large, to the largest audience available, because CBS pulls in the most amount of numbers. People watch Colbert. A lot of people watch Colbert. They did that as a joke, but he still said it. They played it up. That's going to, that's egg on their face. People like, again, it's frustrating. Anyway, that's where we are. Anyway. So HBart's here, says, if you do call-ins this weekend, I'm coming on. Yeah, I'll probably do them on Saturday night. So thank you very much. Anyway. All right. So let's get to, the first caller here, cause they're going to be on for maybe another like, 10, 15 minutes. And, you guys know him. He's here all the time. I see him right now getting up. He's running to the camera. He's all excited. He's jumping around. He's pumping his fists in the air. He's so excited. You guys want him. You guys love him. Anthony Chobo.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. What you listening to?
I'm listening to a gamer.
To a gamer? Wait, you're listening to me and to somebody else? You're cheating on me, Anthony.
I'm sorry, but I thank you for liking my tweet today.
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. It's
I'm doing good. I watched the dating game tonight.
Good. That's the Zooey. This is Zooey Deschanel one, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay. I haven't seen that at all. I don't really have, I don't watch a lot of network television. So I always find it weird when you have, an actor that goes from like doing movies and TV shows relatively frequently to then hosting a game show. It kind of shows you like where their career is at that point in time.
17 years ago, I left Francis Lewis.
Oh, you graduated 17 years ago?
Oh, it was my last day with the school. Ended the 5-year journey.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah. I don't remember when I graduated in 2000. I had to go to, I didn't graduate with everyone. I went to summer school because I had to go and finish up a class.
Well, so I'm doing good and everything. I got my high school diploma in storage. I'm thinking about the future, everything.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. What's your plan for the future then?
Well, doing this 4-part biopic, but Trauma Lloyd has not contacted me yet.
Okay. Well, have you finished your script?
No, I haven't rewrote it yet.
Okay, so I just got to say it, man. How can you expect to get them to come on and to get Lloyd Kaufman to come and back up your biopic if you haven't finished writing it yet.
I will write it. It seems like active development, they said.
So, well, that's good. That's good. You gotta, I mean, a lot of times producers have things in active development, but the thing is, Anthony, you know, Hollywood is an unforgiving bitch. It really is. So if you want to get into it, you want to make it work for you, you gotta show up with the goods. You gotta go and say, I'm Anthony Chabot. I've written my epic, amazing, wonderful 4-part biopic script, and I want you, Lloyd Kaufman of Troma Films, to produce this movie, to have a cameo in this movie, and to tell the world my amazing story.
I'm gonna play me. But I'm gonna have
and then you demand that you play you. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but the thing is, if not, then Netflix will pick it up because we're thinking about getting a Netflix subscription, a Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Netflix is a pretty good place. They pick up a lot of stuff. Disney Plus is going to be spending $30 billion on content here in the next couple of years. So it's you might get it work, but you gotta write it, Anthony.
I will write it for 16 more days until I get back my Facebook.
Good. And then you should use that 16 days to write your script.
I will.
That's the thing. I gotta harp on you about that, man. I gotta harp on you a little bit.
I'm excited about Indiana. I saw your post on the Indiana Jones thing.
Yeah, I got Indiana Jones.
I can't wait for the final Indiana Jones movie.
Same here. I'm very excited for it. I know a lot of people online are crying about it. They're whining about it. They're, oh my God, it's going to be so woke. They haven't seen a damn thing yet. They haven't seen anything with it at all.
Probably we'll get the trailer by Christmas.
We'll probably get a trailer by Valentine's Day. Because in 2008, it was Valentine's Day when they put out the trailer for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I'm still waiting for my Spider-Man No Way Home trailer.
That should be pretty soon.
Before Black Widow. I'm excited about Black Widow.
So yeah, Black Widow is going to be coming out here in a couple weeks, and you'll be able to go and check it out.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm excited because Friday is one of my favorite Power Rangers is coming to my area. Steve Cardenas.
Oh, are you going to go see him?
I don't know. It's an unknown yet. But I had a dream last night that I saw Nakia Barres, and she's a friend of mine on Instagram.
Well, cool. You know what? You should go and check all that out, and then take a lot of pictures, and then make a blog about it, or make a vlog, and then add it to your biopic.
Yeah, I will. But the thing is, Nakia and Catherine have been my friends for a very long time. You know, on Instagram. You know, they follow me. You know, like you follow me on Twitter.
Sure.
I'm happy. But I'm thinking about buying a house very soon, maybe.
Well, yeah, you've mentioned that before. You've definitely mentioned that before. So, I mean, I guess I need, where do you stand on the buying of the house?
Well, right now it's not going to happen.
Oh, okay. Well, why not?
For a while. It's not going to happen for a while, but I'm thinking about it. I am thinking about Berkeley College today. They call me again.
Oh, okay. What exactly are you going to go learn at Berkeley College?
Business.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
I have an interview maybe a week from today. Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, you should definitely prepare for that and make sure that you're going to be able to come on in and kick some butt.
Yeah, I will kick some butt. But the thing is, I'm thinking about a lot of people. I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about a lot of things because that Sunday's Father's Day. My grandfather, God rest his soul.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Father's Day is coming up this week. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because I basically told my girlfriend, I'm like, I want peace and quiet.
Well, I'm going to send you a tweet tagging you to wish all the happy Father's Day around the world on my Twitter. I'm going to do that.
I do appreciate that, Anthony. Thank you very much. Well, hey, man, I'm going to let you go because I got more people that are going to get on in, and we'll talk again soon. All right, man? Thank you very much. All right. So for the sake of time and just for everything, I'm going to bring in Ryan and Brian just to kind of keep the conversation going for a few more minutes while we kind of wind down the hour. So, all right, fellas, what's on your mind? How's your day going?
Hey, Matt.
What's up?
Sorry, Matt.
So I caught you both off guard. Caught you with your pants down, huh? Watching, I was Brian, were you watching some How to Perform Cunnilingus videos? Is that what you were doing, buddy?
No, I was actually gonna bottle water.
Hey, it's wet.
That's what she said too.
Okay, that joke might get me in trouble. This has been like a weird day for stuff. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
whole situation is just crazy. I agree with Ryan's statement from earlier. It's like they're adults, let them be adults. But you know, it becomes definitely a weird, crazy over the top thing. So all right, guys, fill me in. Bring it home. Bring some good stuff here. What's your thoughts?
Well, I sent you a post, Matt, but I really there was an exclusive report I was reading the other day about the Fantastic Beasts franchise. Right there, if you go to Twitter, it was actually called Wizarding News. They broke an exclusive story about the Fantastic Beasts the third movie, and they're saying that it was done with like exclusive like reshoots. They were saying that there were some other people that left the movie, not just Johnny Depp. Now, what's interesting too is that also for Epic Universe coming out like within the next probably 2023, 2024 or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, they're saying that according to NBC Universal Jeff Shell, he didn't mention about Fantastic Beasts because that's supposed to be one of the rumor sections in the park. Now, he mentioned about Illumination Entertainment for, like Despicable Me, Minions. And I hate to base this whole thing, especially with Warner's going on that. I really think that Fantastic Beasts is a dead franchise. And now, I know like how Fantastic Beasts 3 is gonna perform at the box office? No, nobody does. But I think Warner Bros. Is personally setting up a recipe for disaster. That's just my hot take about what the future.
Well, why do you think they're setting up a recipe for disaster?
It's just because it's just like. I don't know if it's the writing decisions or there's too much creative decisions that JK's taking it. I mean, dude, you're stretching a movie, but stretching a franchise of like 4 or 5 different movies based off of like something that's like so super small. Now, I don't know. I don't have any insiders. I don't know anyone, but I just think that that after the poor performance of Crimes of Grindelwald and this whole rating, I'm like kind of skeptical. I'm on the fence about it.
Well, I think it's kind of the idea there essentially is just that, we don't know anything about it yet. We don't know what's going to happen with with whatever this third one is. We just know that Mads Mikkelsen is taking over for Johnny Depp. That's all we know.
Yeah.
And they also looked at the performance of the last movie, and they listened to the fact that the audiences were not happy with what J.K. Rowling wrote. So they brought back in Stephen Kloves, who had written the 8 films,
right?
And to work with her to flesh out this story, which I thought was actually a pretty solid idea, even if I wasn't always happy with his writing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, so they went back and they probably broke it down from scratch, and they just rewrote the whole thing, which is why they delayed it by a whole year?
Yeah.
To shoot the thing.
Yeah, and the report I was reading is saying that Warner Bros. is maybe pressure to end the series. There was actually that one report I was reading saying that there was a sense of amount of reshoots going on and everything. So I'm like, please don't let this be another like a Dark Phoenix situation for goodness sakes. I mean, I know that sounds like a bad example, but but the whole narrative of the context I'm trying to explain is just it's just infuriating. It's just a little frustrating,
Well, okay, I understand that, but I also think just kind of calm down a little bit, because you sound like you're kind of trying to get ahead of what you're trying to say. So I agree with you that it's frustrating because, for one, we should have already seen the movie. It should be coming out this fall, and it won't come out till next year. Removing Johnny Depp from it is one thing. There's Ezra Miller, and the fact that they had to shoot. Zach had to direct Ezra from the UK. To get some of the stuff for the nightmare scene in the Snyder Cut. So, they had to work around that. And then also there's the choking thing, which no one's talking about the choking thing anymore.
No, it's not. No.
Because it's like they kind of buried that. And right. I think, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people are just not, I personally think, and Ryan, I don't know if you're a fan of the Harry Potter franchise or not.
Oh, I love the Harry Potter franchise.
Well, I mean, maybe you might agree with me here. I think what they should do is they should just hold off until 2025, because that's when they have the ability to start adapting things again, and adapt the whole series for HBO Max. Give us each season is the season is a book, and you could do you could do the first, like, honest to God, what is it, like, the Sorcerer's Stone only has like 276 pages.
Yeah,
It's a
it's not
super
that long.
easy read. Right, and it just gets progressively longer as it goes on. But they could
Right.
turn that into like a 6-8 episode season.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
mean, and I was just, and also I was watching a recent interview with Tom Felton. He just recently heard about the early development of the Harry Potter TV series that's being developed supposedly for HBO Max, but nobody knows how that's going to be turning out to. So,
Well, I mean, at the same time, people also want to see more with Daniel Radcliffe, and I think
Yeah.
where we are with a lot of these reboots or continuations now is people are tired of just taking a brand name,
yeah,
and then making it something else, and then thinking that this is going to work. And I mean, look, you're talking about like the Perfect Strangers reboot. Who the fuck wants that?
Nobody.
Like nobody wants that. Like no one was happy about it. Everyone's like, "What are you doing? Like this? No one cares about this." And it's just because it feels relatively disrespectful, rather than just, you could take the same concept of Perfect Strangers and just literally call it anything else.
right.
Right? You could like literally call it like I don't know, whatever. It could be brother from another mother, right? Or sister from another mister. Same concept. Just call it anything different, and that's all it is. But it's like, is whoever's going to be coming over from like what was the company? It's not like, it wasn't Estonia, was it? Was Estonia?
I think so.
Valky?
Yeah, something like that.
So like, whoever is going to be the Bronson Pinchot, where are they coming from?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I just think that JK has been having a little bit too much creative influence. I mean, yes, that's her franchise, but I think that, I know that I just said it before in your previous scenes that people are saying Dumber, she's like the George Lucas of Harry Potter, which I don't know if I'm 100% on board with that argument, because like, I mean, I think she's like, she knows how to like flesh out a story, but I think she just like puts so much of her own, like, oh, here's my decision, it's my way or the highway,
Yeah, no. I get that. I do think that I think like she went from being because what's the story of JK, right? She's like, oh, when I first started writing Harry Potter in the early 90s, I was writing it on cocktail napkins and on receipts, and I was just compiling it together any way I could. And then fast forward like a decade and a half, and she's a billionaire. So she's clearly moved out of whatever comfort, whatever originally inspired her in this world. And she's written other adult stuff. There was that, there was that one, she did a bunch of books under a different name.
Yeah. The one was called The Casual Vacancy.
Yeah.
Which
I tried reading it. I tried it. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah. I think she was trying to go for a very, Shirley Jackson approach with that one.
Okay. And I know that she's written another series under, I think, that same pseudonym, right? It's
It's called the Cormoran Strike series, and let's see, her pseudonym was Robert. I'm blanking on the name.
I don't know. It doesn't even really matter at this point. But I mean, she's made a lot of money, and those series did well too. But again, people who this is why these things are called adaptations. All right, like people who want 100% comic accuracy or book accuracy, you're never really going to get it. What you should strive for is the feeling to be very similar, like the characters to feel like they belong from that world, or they're able to encompass it. And I think like that's what they should go for. But when you look at something like Crimes of Grindelwald, or like the first Fantastic Beasts was an absolutely pointless movie. That whole 2 hours was just to set up, the Johnny Depp Grindelwald at the end. That was it. And then I thought Crimes overall was pretty good, right? I enjoyed it a lot more. But a lot of it was also that Johnny Depp performance at the end of the movie when he was up there and he's like giving that, that speech, and it was like very like, damn. But also the movie, like when they killed Zoe Kravitz's character, and that was a completely unearned death. And I don't know, it was a mess there's parts of it that were a big mess. But I feel also that, that there needs to be new blood injected into the Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, I think personally they need to scout out like some like writers that know how to is like familiar with a franchise, either professional or a fan, but and just I mean, I just think that I think JK is kind of losing her steam a little bit.
Robert Galbraith, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that. So it's kind of like, I agree with you, Brian, that she's kind of running out of steam. on that. And she should turn it over to somebody else to write. Look,
Yeah.
here, it's like this. George Lucas is a fantastic world builder.
Yeah.
Okay. George Lucas is a good storyteller. George Lucas is not good at dialogue.
No.
And even when Carrie Fisher, who was good at dialogue, came in to try to church up the dialogue, it still needed a lot of work, you know, because when it came to directing, he's not the best director. Also, he's a good, he can build the world. He has the vision. Why do you think, okay, like I'll go back to Indiana Jones on this one. The whole story essentially is like, they were sitting on a beach in Hawaii, waiting for the opening numbers of Jaws to come in. And, you know, they're talking about future projects, and, you know, Spielberg said, hey, I really want to direct a James Bond movie. And then Lucas effectively goes, I got something better. And he pitches the concept of Indiana Smith, essentially, because that's what it was originally called. But when he did it, he told Steven, because Steven was like, okay, I'll direct it. But he told Steven, he's like, you got to direct the whole trilogy. And I think that was something that he learned, like, coming off of Star Wars, and he wasn't going to be doing Empire.
Right.
But I think he realized, because this was also before, he didn't even do Jedi either. So, but Spielberg coming in and doing the trilogy kept it a very specific way. But Spielberg, even to his own, you know, I guess you could say like his maybe deflection from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, when there was criticism levied at it, was just, I made the movie my friend George wanted me to make.
Right.
Because George cares about the world, he cares about the characters, but like there's a lot that gets lost in the weeds. So it requires a good team of people. And also when it comes to Star Wars, there's Marcia Lucas, and there's other people involved. Was it Gary Kurtz, I think?
Yeah.
Was the other guy that was very much involved in the editing to craft that movie into what it is. Because as I've mentioned multiple times, there's the film you write, there's the film you shoot, and then there's the film you edit. And those are all three separate films, you know? So it's like, I'll give you guys, did you guys happen to see the trailer for my movie In Search Of? I know, Ryan, I think you've seen it, right? I think you've actually watched it.
I've seen the very end of it.
Okay, that's made its way around the internet a couple times. And so the thing with that is, so in my movie In Search Of, we shot this thing in 2 days in San Diego. That wasn't the original story. What we shot wasn't the original story. It was something that the original story was called In Search Of the ISO Killer. The original story was about a group of college filmmakers who are doing an environmental documentary over the summer to try to win a scholarship. And they're interviewing people on the street, and they interview someone who strikes them as a little bit odd. And they kind of come to realize that this might be this guy.
That's interesting.
They realize, wait a minute, there's a reward for the capture of this guy. You know, that's more than their scholarship. So they said, fuck it to the documentary, and they start pursuing the killer, trying to track him down and to determine if it's really him and get the evidence that they need, going far beyond what they should be doing in order to get it. But then he starts realizing that he's being followed, and then he starts turning the tables on them and picking them off one by one. Right? As it goes forward, as they're trying to get this information, he kind of lures them into his web. And they get to see that, so that was the original idea for In Search Of. And then when I was going to move to LA, I'm like, well, I need to shoot a movie before I go to LA, or right around the time I moved to LA, to have something to take with me, you know? And so I said, okay, what can I do with this story? Well, what if I take it and I turn it into a QR code riddle situation on Craigslist, and I just put my friend in it, and it's just him and I, we go off and we make this movie that had only an outline that I literally was writing up until the day that we shot it. It had no dialogue, no specific dialogue. I just said, let's just kind of talk about this. And that was it. Like, it was all ad-libbed. And, some people like the movie, some people don't like the movie, and that's great. But it's like, movies are always different from what you initially envision them to what they will ultimately turn out to be, even if you are writing and directing. And so that becomes the bigger factor here when we talk about things like J.K. Rowling, and who was the director? It was,
David Yates.
David Yates, who started off on Order of the Phoenix, and he's just kept going. Right. So that's kind of the issue. It's like with the Order of the Phoenix, him wrapping up the franchise made sense because everything kind of happened so fast.
Right.
But then continuing on into Fantastic Beasts, it's like, now it's like, no, give the guy something else to do. But then he did that Tarzan movie.
Yeah.
And like that, you know, it did okay, but like it didn't win anything. So he just kind of went back to what he knew.
Right.
So I mean, that's kind of the point. What I'm trying to get to here is like,
so what do you think? Is it more of like a producer issue, or is it more of like a writer issue that for the future of the franchise? You think so, Matt, or no?
no, I think it's a when they signed the deal with JK and she was the exec producer who also was going to write it. Warner Brothers put the faith in her to be able to craft it with the producing team in order to work with David Yates, who they've worked together again on multiple films, but Cloves had written those films. And there was a source material that they could pull from. Right. Now they're taking this one book and they're building off a franchise off this one book that, you know, Fantastic Beasts has nothing to do. Like they even said after the first Fantastic Beasts movie came out that Newt Scamander may not be in all 5 movies.
No. Eddie Redmayne. I don't think Redmayne's had signed a multi.
No, exactly. So it's like you're starting a franchise with this character who wrote this book that ends up being a textbook that's used for education in Hogwarts down the road. And you veer away from that in order to tell us a story of Dumbledore versus his ex-boyfriend, you know, and then, you know, a lover's quarrel that's going to end up reshaping the wizarding world and giving way for Tom Riddle to come out eventually, you know? So it's, you know, it's like, okay, well, this is not something that people really want. Write the books first, flesh the story out, give people something to dive into, and then go and make the damn movies.
Yeah. And that's what my argument was saying earlier, because now if like what according to NBC, you know, Jeff Shell said for Epic Universe, now that's going to make me think now like, well, I mean, if now the franchise is now think about being reconfigured, I mean, who knows? I mean, the plans might be changed once they build the park. So,
well, that's the thing is really Warner Brothers should just, I don't want to say Warner Brothers should just sell the rights to Universal, but partner with Universal and work with them to adapt more, because I think like the Universal people, they understand franchises.
They do.
So, you know, it's like, let them do their thing that way. I don't know. I just find it to be like, again, Warner's has just been.
I mean, I don't get like your top most like what like I said, you got Illumination, you got DreamWorks, you got Fast and Furious. I mean, Jurassic. I mean, but Harry Potter on the other hand, it's like that. It's like, you know, the other child that's like, you know, wants to be all like miserable and not cooperative.
Well, here's the thing though, is there's a lot of there is a lot of money in the Harry Potter franchise, because a lot of people grew up with it, you know, and so there's money there that they can make, but people aren't clamoring for Fantastic Beasts. They're clamoring for Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson and you know, Rupert Grint. They're clamoring for those guys to come back and to do something else. And I'm telling you, at this point, Daniel Radcliffe would probably do it. Emma Watson would be a little bit difficult because she's like, you know, kind of semi-retired, but if the script was good and and the money was right, they would come back in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
you know,
probably
not the cursed child though, because that was kind
I think
of lame.
I also remember watching that everything. I think he said Tom Felton looks like he said he possibly want to come back or two. So.
No. He said absolutely he wants to come back.
Yeah.
Because what has Tom Felton done since then? Rise of the Planet of the Apes, a couple little things here and there, and he had a mini arc on season 4 of The Flash.
Yeah.
Well, and he was actually pretty good on season 4 of The Flash too, by the way. I liked this character. But the whole idea though is that these guys, like, you know, what was it? Whoever played Neville, I forget the guy's name. He just
Matthew Lewis.
Yeah, he just got cast in something the other day. You don't ever hear much about him. Where's Luna Lovegood? What's she been up to?
Ivana Lynch has been doing, you know, tours and everything. The Phelps twins, they've been doing their own thing. So
yeah, I mean, they can all capitalize for the rest of their life about being in those movies. They'll make money regardless, you know, for being able to do all that. So that's kind of, you know, the franchise, the people who are in it will live on, but at the end of the day, it's like they've got to really reconfigure what is going to be the best for longevity. And that is to, in my opinion, reboot the movies as an 8 or 7 season show on HBO Max. Give us Peeves, give us all the things that we didn't get, and dive into the lore and give people that, because you know what? Lord of the Rings is going to bring it. A lot of those guys are going to bring it. I mean, look, H-Bart's here with $5 says that's why Amazon's Lord of the Rings needs to look like Peter Jackson's world. 100%.
Agreed.
100%, because you've got to have that crossover. You've got to have that crossover, because it's been 20 years of Lord of the Rings, surprisingly. This feels so weird to say.
Yeah.
And that aesthetic is what the fans want. That aesthetic is what's there. And that was one of the things that people didn't really care much for with the Hobbit films, was that it didn't feel like Lord of the Rings. Well, it's also a fucking fairy tale.
Right.
You know, it's meant to be, it's meant to be a tall tale. So it's going to look a little different. And I get that. And I liked it for it too. But again, I mean, if you look at the Unexpected Journey versus Desolation of Smog and the Battle of Five Armies, clearly, Del Toro's influence wanes, like it goes away in the second and third film.
Yeah, it does.
But this still was close enough that people were happy with it. Real quick here, I just want to get this in here. Another HBART super chat here. Did I see Johnny Depp in Sea of Thieves? I did. And was that actually him?
No, it wasn't. It was like an improv voice actor. You know how like Tom Hanks' brother improvises for.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was someone that sounded close to Johnny Depp, so it was kind of like so it was like an improv actor that sounds like Johnny Depp.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, wait, after this whole thing with Amber Heard, they're not going to bring him back for this. That felt kind of weird.
It wasn't Johnny Depp, so
yeah, that was a little bit odd. Anyway, and then Andy Buka here with the super chat saying, "Why is the sex thing in the U.S. such a problem to talk about, considering the USA are the pioneers of the porn industry? Because of the Quakers."
Yep.
Because of that's it. It's because we came over here. Hardcore religious fanatics left England to get away from the Church of England to come over here to live a very pious world, you know, with the killing of natives and all that shit. And and then you know, it was like, no, no, our country is absolutely prudish. Anyway, her Simon section says, okay, $5 there. It says, in my day, YA books didn't consist of fantasy elements. It said we had shaving cream and pubic hair.
Oh my God.
How old are you, Simon? And where are you from? And should we call an authority figure? Because you might have been given some bad stuff when you were a kid.
Oh my God.
All right. So anyway, guys, I'm going to wind this thing down. I'm going to wrap it up for the night so I can jump over to Enosh's stream for a few minutes and harass him before I got to go to bed.
I posted an article about in the theme park section, man, if you want to take that read, because it was very interesting.
Yeah, I made that section entirely for you, man.
Yeah, well, it's been pretty. A lot of news has been kind of been.
No, you drop a lot of news in that Discord. Like, oh my God, like I'll check it. And like, I just look through and it's like, okay, Brian's been busy.
It's what I do, man. It's been a busy week in the industry. It's summertime season. It's peak season.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching some videos coming out of Adventures Campus, and I'm like, God, I would love to go.
Yeah, yeah. For a paid DLC weapon that only works with an attraction.
Well, I mean, that's how they get you. That is
DLC.
exactly how they get you.
Paid DLC. It's like an EA scam.
Well, Disney is going to Disney. That never changes.
Man,
that never changes at all. So, all right, man. Well, hey, thanks a lot, guys, for coming on in. I really appreciate it. And we'll definitely talk again soon. All right.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. All right, everyone. I appreciate everyone coming on and hanging out tonight. We had a lot of fun joking about all sorts of things involving Batman eating cats. Look at this. I'm hungry. I'm going to feed on it. And of course, it's just been, this is absolutely a demonetized stream, but I thank you guys for the super chats. It's been very helpful. And if you want to become a channel member, the way to do that is to click the link in the video description and you guys can get your ass in on this page. Get your name up here, featured with the Wall of Champions. And I'll be back on tomorrow night to talk about whatever the hell else is happening in Hollywood. I have no idea. It's been a crazy day. It's going to be a crazy week. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day. Thanks again and peace.